being here. Okay. Good morning, Steve Sherman. Good morning, Bill Freed. Nice to see you.
Good morning, sir.
Does everybody have their cup of coffee?
Rick, Jim Pearson just texted me. He's at work.
Yeah.
And his Vice is, of course, recuperating.
Yeah. No, I got an email, or I didn't get an email. I heard he wasn't going to be able to attend.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we have duplications on the screen. Alan Carver's there twice. Mike Fiamingo's there twice. Holy moly.
Rick, did the OTO get in touch with you yesterday?
Yes,
Okay,
he has the link and he will be here.
okay, good.
He said he'd be running a little bit late. So he's dealing with a Home Depot delivery. Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get through this meeting quickly for a staff meeting anyway. Some of the ground rules here today, I would like everybody to have their cameras on and your mics off unless it is your turn to speak. And let's see, how we're going to do this meeting today is the DDCs will get about 5 minutes to talk about their program, and DSOs, you will get up to 10 minutes, but I will be timing you, and if you exceed your time, I will let you know, and the hook will be coming. If you can keep it less than that, everybody will appreciate that. Any questions? Okay. I've been taking roll as everybody has been signing on, so I won't be taking roll right now. Let's see. Rudy, if you could change your name from Mike Fiamingo to Rudy Cortez, please. It just helps me know who people are and everybody else. We have a few guests here today. We have Shakes here today. He asked to be on the meeting. He wants to talk about PPE. So I'm going to give him a few minutes to do that. Let's see who else is here. Oh, David. And David, I'm not going to pronounce your name because I butcher names. David is the director of international, is it international affairs, David?
Affairs, yes.
Yes. David is also in my ASOC class. We spent some time together in the academy about a month ago. And David is also in Division 9, correct? Awesome, David, thank you for coming. Let's see, who else is here? Steve Sherman is here representing IS.
Hello.
Looks like Denver's here. Denver, are you representing anybody from 11?
I just came on here because I'm an ADSO with diversity and Rudy
Okay.
Lopez asked me to come on.
Okay. Do you know if Rudy's
He's on.
he's not coming, or
No,
Felix?
he's on.
Felix is on?
I'm sorry, Felix, not Rudy. Felix Lopez is who I'm representing. He should be on, but if he isn't, I can try to give a report for that.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Okay, let's see, anybody I missed? Division commanders, thank you. DCAPs, thank you. Boz and Mike, thank you for being here. There's Felix. Okay. All right, to get started here, we do have a new OTO. He plans on joining us today as soon as he can. He's dealing, like I'm sure you heard me say, a delivery at his home in San Clemente. His name is Jared Esselman, and he's a bosun mate, I believe, or bosun.
He's a chief warrant officer.
Chief warrant officer. I just get
The chief warrant officers are referred to as bosuns,
bosuns. Okay.
Yeah. not bosun's mate.
But yeah, bosuns, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I was never in the military, guys, so bear with me.
Can we spell that last name, please?
ESSELMAN.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
John Ross, what is the proper pronunciation, since I'm sure you've been around him a little more? Turn your mic on.
Esselman,
Esselman?
yeah, ESSEL, Esselman.
Okay.
First name is Jared. And he'll answer to about anything, but personally, I call him the OTO. So his name for me is OTO and it works perfect.
Proper protocol is either Mr. and his last name or OTO. You are not to refer to a Gold Side member by their first name.
Correct.
So,
Thank you, Commodore, for that. Like I said, I'm not going to do roll call. I've been keeping track of who's here. So next up, Shake, I'm going to let you talk about PPE right now. So please.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to be brief, but I doubt it. I've tried to reach out to the division commanders to help me set up the new thing on PPE. It looks like our SO or FSO MAs are going to be inputting in Ox Data 2 every single piece of equipment that our boat crew and coxswains have. This will be daunting to some, very easy to others. I've reached out a couple of weeks ago with only 1 out of 55 flotillas that responded to me. And so I'm kind of frustrated. I'm trying to get them to get there, and I sent them each a list of their members that are either REWK, REYR, or admin or certified that have gear, so they can kind of go through their 538, which is their responsibility, to let me and let them know how many people they're going to have to input when we get to that final tally. At the end of the month, the North is doing a big website thing, and I'm part of that as far as how they're going to input and some of the ins and outs of this new Ox Data 2 stuff on the PPEs. So I ask you as leaders, if you can reach out to knock on the door or knock on the head of individuals to try to get them to get back to me. What it was set up for was each flotilla commander was to send me or find an individual that's going to be their person for that flotilla, and then send me the list of, okay, we have 3 people that have gear and they'll be inputted when we're ready to go. Trying to get a beachhead established before this onslaught of inputting comes in. So that's one of my main things. And the other is to ask, as leaders, facility inspections are becoming a problem in that individuals are not doing their facility inspections correctly, meaning they just get on without learning. They put things in there and it's pending for months and months. So me and the commander have been trying to clean that up. So if you have a facility inspection in there for over 1 month, it's going to be deleted and you're going to be asked to redo it. Other than aircraft are very difficult to get inspected, and so we give them a lot more. So those are two of my main areas, and all of this has been backed up with the commander and the OTO Esselman, who we've been in contact with. So if you have any questions, I'm kind of the one that's been doing a lot of this PPE stuff and PLB and facility quality control. It's been going through me because of COVID and because we hadn't had anybody leading this for a while. So please regard any questions to me directly on that, and I could help you as leaders to help me get these things done. So I tried to be as quickly as I could. Thank you, Rick.
Okay, Steve Sherman, you have a question. You're muted, Steve.
Unmuted here. Okay. Bill, I have a question. Who flips the switches in AD2 to allow access to the PPE object?
I have been granted that privilege. Dustin Finkelson, who is the 11 North OTO,
Right.
got me permission because the commander has been on vacation. She'll be back next week, but I've been giving that, and I'm on one of the test people that will play with it, have been playing with it going in. I don't like the system already. I got a lot of complaints, which I've sent to the OTO in the north, but it's going to be time consuming for some. Others, when you only have 2 members that have gear, it's going to be real easy. But in the future, I think at minimum SOMAs are going to be responsible, is what their target right now is, and it may go to FSOMAs to input, but they're still working out the bugs, and that's what we're practicing with. We're taking one flotilla, putting that information in, and then seeing how we're doing, and then reporting back to the north. They're kind of leading us right now from what National wants to do.
Okay, well, I'll tell you that I'm definitely going to be questioned about this. If you would please do so, grant me access.
Oh, I don't have that magic wand. I think you may have to email either our new OTO or
Okay.
maybe 11 North OTO. I don't know how to grant access. I was just given access.
Okay, well, I'll talk to OTO Finkelson. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna well, he's still connecting. Chris Milano, you raised your hand, you had a question. You're muted, Chris.
I do, thank you. 2 questions, actually. One, we're just talking about equipment that was issued by active duty, not anything personal that people have, correct, Bill?
Correct.
And then second question is, what do you want us to do with go bags? We've got go bags. They're basically assigned to one person, but does that person fill it out, or do you want us to identify those separately as go bags?
Our new OTO is debating that. 11 North does not use go bags. They don't like go bags. They give trainees and everybody. So that particular issue is in flux. We don't know if we're going to continue go bags as a south or join the whole district as yet no on go bags. So please stand by. Don't worry about it. Only thing I worry about on a go bag is the person responsible for it has the PLB in NOAA website. And when that individual gives it to a trainee or somebody for the day, that coxswain has to transfer that 15-digit to sector to let them know that this individual has that PLB. But as of now, just leave it as status quo until I am directed by the commander what to do with go bags.
Thank you.
Okay, I see our new OTO is here, Mr. Esselman. If you would like to unmute, sir.
All right.
Good
Can you hear me?
morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Anything you'd like to say, address to our staff officers and DCAPs and some of our division commanders that are here today?
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you for the invite. Of course, John, I met the other day. I reported in on Thursday, so it's been a whirlwind trying to play catch up. I know the last OTO, Mr. DeVoy, left probably about a month ago, so there's been a little bit of a gap, but I have gotten to speak with a few of you. I see Shake. I caught the last end of that. How's it going? Nice to put a face with a name. But yeah, so I just wanted to introduce myself and take the time to, you know, allow you guys to put a face with a name. My name, of course, is Jared Usselman. I'm coming off the Weishi. I spent 2 years there. You may have heard about a little bit of a fire we had off of Japan. And I left the station 2 years ago, so and apologize ahead of time for the background noise. The kids are not being quiet, so that's why I had us on mute. But yeah, I was at a station, Eaton's Neck before Weishi, so fresh off of that as well. I'm really looking forward to working with you guys. I know we got the national conference coming up in Orlando, so it's going to be you know, very, very busy for my first month. Commander's coming off a leave, so I'm looking forward to talking with her on Monday. Shake, again, heard some of the things that you were mentioning. I'm going to be having a conversation with her tomorrow, or Monday rather, on some of those items. But yeah, just to hit on the PLB side, there was a new MPC. While it's not necessarily 100% official policy, it's going to be. So it's kind of a read ahead on that. So there are some changes coming down the pike. Just how do we massage those changes into where we're getting the most value out of that change? Because, you know, not everybody does have computers. Not everybody is savvy with computers. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure equipment works. We have to make sure it's tracked properly. And we have to make sure that it's in accordance with Commandant policies. So, you know, hitting on all three of those are going to be the main mission or the main goal here. But I have a roster here. What I've been doing is, as I see your names on here, I've just been putting a little asterisk so I can put a face with a name, because my gosh, this thing is massive. Mr. DeVoy, he left it for me there. So I appreciate that. But I was mentioning to Rick earlier, I'm trying to kind of slow walk my, you know, all hands email out, maybe another week, kind of dragging it out there. Not because I have a lot to say and I want to introduce myself, but I'm trying to kind of not put myself at a disadvantage where, you know, I'm kind of meeting everybody day by day, and I'm not able to kind of really dive into some of the hot and heavy needs that need to be done. So I'm not trying to be rude, not trying to put you guys aside. Trust me, I'm raring to go. I want to go and visit every single flotilla, every single division. I want to get out there and start doing check rides. You know, I know there's a little hiccup with LA. I think tomorrow night they're putting mask mandates on vaccinated or unvaccinated folks indoors. So don't know how long that's going to go. Don't know how that's going to impact us. But I can tell you that I'm ready to go, ready to get back to the way it was pre-COVID. I've heard from various folks in the auxiliary that maybe communication needs to be stepped up a little bit. So I love communication. I think how you communicate really leaves a lasting impression, whether that's, you know, talking to a junior member, senior member, whoever. So, you know, I'm a big communicator, so I'm going to make sure that, you know, I do communicate out. I do get what Commander's saying, what's happening in the north side. But just to touch on that, you know, I'm new to this gig, but I do know a little bit of the history. I met with Mr. McCoy. I met with Mr. Finkelson. I actually met with the OTO prior to Mr. DeVoy. He was actually my instructor when I went to CWOPD in Connecticut a year and a half ago. So I kind of know some of the challenges ahead. I know the Master Chief and Commandant were actually on my cutter last month, and they were asking me where I was going and some interesting things they were mentioning. So I'm raring to go. I'm excited. I really want the North and the South to come together. We are one district. You know, I understand that sometimes there are needs to do things differently, but ultimately, you know, I want to really be involved down in San Diego. Trying to maybe work down there one day a week, really just to meet folks, to place names with faces, chat with the OIC down there, chat, you know, with the OIC up north at Channel Islands, Morro Bay, trying to, you know, hopefully, I know at my last station, we worked with the auxiliary all the time. We did 2-boat training. I know that that's been a challenge from what I've been hearing. I know COVID probably hasn't helped with that at all, but I think that we could probably improve on some of those areas, and I'm all about it. Really want to get involved in some of the meetings that you guys have in person when they start happening again, and trying to, you know, maybe do a check ride or two prior to NACON. Got to work that out with the OTO up north, and I'm trying to work that out with Mr. McCoy as well. But again, don't want to say everything all in one day, but I'm excited. I'm raring to go. I really appreciate what you guys have done. I had a really good working relationship with my 550 plus auxiliaries at Eaton's Neck. You know, I'm sure it's the same way out here. We had a lot of other government agencies, a lot of port partners. We all work together because there's one goal, right? At the end of the day, we're trying to save lives or prevent, you know, a death. So we're all in it together. How we organize and how we train, well, that's, you know, there's always ways for improvement, but that's kind of where I'd like us to kind of shift. And I'm all about training. I think training is essential. I think you need to train often. I think you need to train to the standard. I think you need to train beyond that. Coming off the WMSL, I am very, very proficient with DWO and NAVREL. So I would love to, you know, maybe give a training or two session in the future, or at least be in on one of those. I think it's super important to understand the rules of the road. It's obviously our bread and butter, our Bible. It's what we go with when we're out there. So anyway, wanted to just introduce myself. I'll sit back, observe, and just watch and kind of see how you guys run things. But excited again to meet all of you. And I am in the office. I should be in every day next week, except possibly Monday. I might be teleworking on Monday, but if you have any questions or you want to email me, I am in Global. I'm the only Esselman in Global, and feel free to hit me up. My cell phone number is in there. You can text me, call me. I do like to meet in person. I am a big believer in, you know, getting rid of the emails where people can misconstrue words and things like that. So I will not be sitting in the office 24/7, 5 days a week. I will be visiting folks, getting out there and seeing people. That's just who I am. That's what I want to do. I think that's how we're going to move forward post-COVID in the best way possible. So to me, everybody is important in the auxiliary, from the aux chef all the way up to your, you know, QE coordinator, to the Sheikh who's doing the RNS. Although I will say, I've always said RNS is the most important thing, since that's what'll save a life. So that's why it's so important that we make the right decision and we look into everything on the RNS side. You know, gear bags, ready service bags, you know, it's convenient to have them, but it may not be the best answer. And we'll peel back the onion and kind of look at all the pros and cons of that and make the best decision going forward. But there is a lot of new policy changes coming down from the active duty side that is also going to be on the auxiliary side as well. So anyway, any questions for me before I mute myself and just kind of observe?
Okay, doesn't look like it. Mr. Esselman, thank you for joining us this morning. I look forward to meeting you in person on Wednesday, and stay as long as you like on the meeting. If you need to go, we certainly understand that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Okay. Next up, I want to go to logistics. But Randy, before you get your 5 minutes to talk about logistics, I want to go to the DSO MT, Paul Saba. I know Paul has another commitment that he needs to get to, and I promised that he could go first. Mr. Saba.
Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it very much. I really like to kind of engage everybody. Thanks for everyone for coming in. Nice to meet you, Mr. Esselman. Always great to see a new OTO that's excited and likes training as much as I like to train. Kind of go through some basic training stats today. I'll try and keep it under 10 minutes here. I should probably be done here in a very short time. All divisions are currently actively and engaged in member training, which is nice to see. We're starting to see a reduction in the number of AP members and a transition to BQ. However, it is not going quite to the speed that we're hoping for. We are still above the national average in the number of individuals that are still in AP status of greater than 1 year after joining the auxiliary, which tells me that's a mentorship problem, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. The Auxiliary Leadership Development Program has been slowly growing. We currently have 19 auxiliarists in the district that have at least achieved level 1, and we have several others that are in the process of going through it. The biggest challenge I'm finding on that is communication. A lot of folks have reached out to me saying, well, I took the test. Well, there's more than just the test. You have to do the certs and you have to submit the process, which goes outside of the OTO's office and goes up the chain of leadership through to national and comes out of DIROC's or chief director's office and out of BSX. So it's kind of an important thing that people may have completed the requirements. They have to submit the necessary paperwork to me so I can get it up the chain. One of the other things that needs to be passed along to folks is once they get their level 1 qualification, understand that the levels are currently not identified in Oxdata 2. So the only way you can identify that a person has completed that level of training is to go to the national website, pull the report, and I have sent that report out a couple of times, and I'll be talking about my important interest in doing situational awareness and getting that forward. OxOps skyrocketed in 2020 and has started to level off. We're not having as many people taking OxOps classes at this point, but still we're progressing. We're getting a lot more people becoming OxOps qualified. We are looking to do more in-person classes as well as Zoom classes to help improve knowledge and skill. I believe it's kind of, especially when it comes to navigation and some of the more difficult hands-on tactile courses and communications. You know, the online classes are great. The open book testing process is a good system. However, I do have a concern that, you know, people are just going through it, Google searching the answers, passing the exam, and then flushing that knowledge out the door and not really having a capture of the knowledge that's necessary. I'm not dissuading people from doing it. However, I'm going to encourage those individuals, even though you may have had OxWeather or some of those, like I said, those higher technical classes, come down and get involved. And like I said, I'd like to have an online navigation followed up with an in-person navigation class so we can all get to know Block Island Sound very, very well. That was a chart that I absolutely hated when I was a kid at Maritime. Members are completing BQ status. Like I said, the numbers have leveled off. We still have several flotillas that are, and almost 70% of their members are AP. For me, I see the AP status and the failure to transition from AP to BQ as a recruiting retention problem. When we have a member comes in, they don't get their BQ status. It means they're really not doing anything, not serving the auxiliary, they're not getting out there doing their mission. So let's make sure we identify the flotillas that have the shortest time. So we have some flotillas that the average in certain flotillas is under 4 weeks from AP to BQ. And that one particular flotilla marries up every new member with another senior member and mentors them through that BQ process right from the get-go. Gets them engaged, gets them talking, gets them working with people. And, you know, when you see those flotillas that have the faster AP to BQ status, they have higher OxOps. They also have a lesser retention issue. So they tend to hold on to their members a lot more. And we have a couple of divisions that have flotillas that are that way. We all kind of know who they are. So just kind of focus on that. And if you are in a flotilla that's, you know, has a large number of individuals in AP status, identify them, engage them, let's get them trained, and let's get them assigned to a mentor. Based on national stats, every area of our operations has had a steady decline since 2016. So that was something that I identified at the beginning of my term as the DSOMT, and I'm going to be working with different folks. We tried out a new blended Zoom / in-person boat crew training course, which currently has 10 members going through that process. The only problem we're running into is the program's been run in Division 11, which has a lack of operational facilities and coxswains. So they're now going to be working with members of Division 6 and Division 5 to get out on the water. And I want to pass on my sincere appreciation to see the team pulling together to help get those individuals out on the water and get them trained. My hope at that point is that that model will be able to be sold out to other areas, and we can grow the number of operational auxiliaries that we have out on the water as boat crew and then eventually as coxswains, and take that model that we used to train boat crew into training more coxswains, and then maybe even transfer that to the air crew program and get more pilots on board. Because we are starting to get flotillas that are recruiting pilots, and we have 2 flotillas that have aircraft that are in the process of trying to find out how they can get inspected. And I'll tie in with the DSOAV later on and try and get some more information regarding that. Based on that, COVID has had the largest drop off, and a lot of people are saying the reason why we've had the drop off is because of COVID. But if you go look at the statistics, we've had a steady decline, like I said, since 2016. Our numbers are starting to come back, but an example of where we're having an issue is with our VE and IT workshops. We had 40% non-compliance. The biggest thing that I see out of that was 40% of our auxiliaries are probably not really engaged and not really out there doing the mission anymore. There's been a tremendous amount of emails that have gone out. I know people have talked about it a lot. We've had online and in-person workshops where they've gone through that PowerPoint and had a chance to get people involved. Nationals put on a few extra workshops. And I really only had a handful of individuals reach out to me after saying, hey, what do I need to do? So I have a funny feeling that's a good capture that we've had a 40% decline in the number of individuals that are active instructors and vessel examiners. So, and like I said, the same thing applies down to our boat crew and coxswain staffs, which we're going to try and work. One of the things I want to point out for member training is OXLAMs, AMLOC, and OLOC are now in an online format. And we have a large attendance in D11, which is kind of great to see. I'm currently finishing up my last sort of class to get my level 4 in the ADLP. And I've had a chance to go through OXLAMs, OLOC, and AMLOC all through the online format, and the instruction's pretty good. And they've done a really good job of getting good instructors in there that are transmitting that information. One of the biggest things I can tell you right there is a lot of folks are like, I'm a leader, I don't need extra leadership training. I'm a vice division commander, and I'm identifying as going through this training course some of the things that we weren't doing as a division that we need to start doing and getting our process moving a lot smoother. And I can tell you right now, it's definitely worth going through the training, and I highly encourage it. And you see me pushing a lot of it because that is a direction that National's coming down, and the Gold side would like to see trained leaders as they move up the lane. I can see a clear difference in my performance as I'm getting trained, and as I'm getting training, performing better. That means my flotilla and now division are doing better, and that's my general goal, is to bring that up and bring that across the entire district. I'm working with National staff currently to become an instructor in those programs so that we can have more instructors. We have 3 additional members within this district that are also going through that process to become online instructors. So my goal is towards the end of that, once we get qualified to teach these different classes, is to increase the number of courses that we have and make it more available all the way down to that flotilla level. We're going to do a focus on ICS training. So for those who are interested in getting involved in incident command school and our incident command system training, based upon the needs of the Marine safety staff. I had spoke briefly with the lieutenant commander that's in the Marine safety office, and he would love to see more engagement from auxiliaries in several of the ICS positions. And as an ICS instructor myself, teaching all the different courses through the planning section on down, as well as an ICS 300 and 400 instructor, they'd like to see those courses maybe brought down to sector and give a chance for more information to be shared out there. Communications, like we were saying before, remains to be an issue. We had a problem with getting the message out regarding our May training Saturday. We had a phenomenal attendance. I think we had 40 people in each of the sections that we had. But I think given the fact that we had 40, with several people telling me they only heard about it a couple of days before the course, if we do a better job of getting that word out, passing that word down to folks, we could get much more attendance and improving our level of training. Situational awareness is going to be another focus of mine going forward, with reports coming down the chain of leadership management as they become available, so that you can see where we are in our training paradigms, where we are in getting our members qualified, where we are in getting our members through leadership training, where we are getting our members through qualifications training, and so that we can make necessary changes at the flotilla level to get people better trained and better out there to do their job. And the last thing I just want to throw on here is I would love to have a sit down with the OTO sometime when you get yourself settled in, so I can get some understanding of what your concerns, questions, and directions for regarding Gold side direction for MT. so that we can get better training out there for all of our folks and become more mission ready, effective, and ready, relevant, and responsive to the needs of the Coast Guard. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you, Paul.
I'd
Appreciate
like to
that.
make some comments.
Sure.
If I may. Yeah, my question, Paul, is, you hit it on the head with, what's going on with AP, moving out of AP. The trick is, of course, leadership, motivation, and mentorship, which is the most important thing. You're correct on that. I want to also make a comment on OXOP status. You've got some people in the auxiliary that have worked 8 years to earn that distinction. I worked 3 years for mine. I am seeing from my end members coming in and earning that OXOP within 2 weeks. I'm not impressed.
But
How do
that's
you go to-
that's a national decision, Steve,
I
and that's
understand,
out of our control.
understood. It's just not doing, I don't
Understood.
feel it's doing the auxiliary any service.
And I'm sure there's a lot of folks who feel the same way.
Okay, and the other thing I want to mention is the VEIT workshop non-compliance. I think you're going to find a number of those people are inactive. They pay their dues, they don't do anything. They just want the card and a discount to the movies, So I know I've worked with these people. I know who they are.
Exactly. And that was my point is I think that just gives us more accuracy. When we look at the number of VEs we have
Yeah.
approximately 60% of the VEs actually functioning and doing their job. And that was the point I'm trying to bring out there is we need to be
Right.
aware that those numbers showing decline, but
Yeah,
that decline may be sharper than we are. We need to engage more, and
right.
recruiting, retention, and member development is important.
So I just want to, make sure we're aware that some of these people are just not going to do it.
Oh, yeah, very much aware of that.
Okay.
All
And-
right, guys, we need to move on here. Randy Wesson. Are you here, Randy? I see your screen is not on.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you get your camera on?
Yeah, I'll try.
Please? Okay.
I switched to the written part of my report in my computer, and so I guess I lost the Zoom page.
I'll tell you what, Randy, as the DDC of logistics, I'd like to give you 5 minutes just to briefly talk about logistics.
Okay, well, let me talk about that, and then I can introduce the DSOs. Good morning to everyone. Paul, thank you for your report. First thing I'd like to say is I'm so glad that so many people Zoomed in to hear me speak. Well, you're very lucky because I'm going to be very brief. You already know the logistics directorate has a very talented group of experts in their discipline. They work hard and tirelessly, and they get things done. I will now call on Rudy Lopez to give the materials report for Desiree. Rudy?
All right, tried to turn the mic on. Good morning, everyone. Desiree is currently indisposed of. She was able to provide very little information with regard to her report. The only thing that they wanted to reiterate is that they're going through a transition currently with how they're going to do their materials down the road. I don't have any more information that she was able to provide for me other than the fact that she just wanted to make sure I passed on to her any of your concerns regarding this subject.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Rudy? I guess not. Thank you, Rudy. Next is FSO PB Sydney Hay.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Randy. Pleasure to meet you, OTO. This is very exciting, the things you've shared. I appreciate it so much. Well, being back in business, we got stuff to write about. Yay! So that's what my desire is, just to start writing about all the good work y'all are doing. So back in business with a publication in process for a district newsletter. So here's what I need from you. I need everyone that is willing to do this to write me a little paragraph why I joined the auxiliary. We started that feature. I can't remember, someone up my chain of leadership's idea it was, and it turned out to be a very good idea. And the things people have shared have been fun to read. So why I joined the auxiliary, give us a little of that background. I'd love to put you in print. And if you'd send that to me, that'd be great. Also, I'm in desperate need of action photos. So remember to let folks know, in the people that you're working in whatever discipline it is, there's action photos of auxiliaries doing the great work that we do. I'm always in desperate need of those. So please, 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 please. We are encouraging all the rest of the division SOPBs and the flotilla PBs to get back in business too. Publications dropped off because folks got tired of writing about Zoom meetings, on a picture of a screen. So we're trying to get folks back up and running. We have several flotillas and divisions that do have active newsletters, but we certainly need to encourage more, and I need to do that, and I commit to doing that. And I just took one word from OTO's comments today: communication. And this newsletter can really be a unifier. It really can be something that communicates and encourages and gets folks on the same team and things like that, because it's something that we all can learn about what other folks are doing. I mean, I just love reading the newsletters that I get sent to approve and to make edits, etc., because I get to find out stuff I would never know about otherwise that various flotillas and divisions are doing. So it can be something good, but I in terms of that word communication between all of us. So I just want to encourage you, please send me stuff, and especially send me why I joined the auxiliary. And any questions, comments, or screams of outrage, I'm here.
Thank you, Sydney. Let's hope our folks can get some stuff to you, and you can get our district newsletter out as soon as you can.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Randy?
Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Rick. One thing I'd like to add into Sydney's report, it's just a small thing, but it's a really big thing to the photographer. If you're taking photos of action photos of activities, whatever, you need to make sure that the picture is only acceptable if everybody's in the proper uniform. That's a public affairs rule. Also, in regards to photos, if there are any kids in the photos, you need to have a consent form filled out by the parents. Thanks again, Sydney. I'll call on FSO DV Felix Lopez for his report.
Good morning. I just wanted to inform you that the 2020 NACO 3-Star Award for Excellence in Diversity has been extended to 31 July 2021. We still have more time to reach out our SODVs and our division commanders to duplicate our last year's performance or even improve it. Of note, Division 6 has already achieved 100% division for the second straight year, and another division is on the running for another to become the second 100%, hopefully this year. Well, there's a lot of difficulties or challenges that we have encountered, but we're still working on it. But with the support of everybody, we will achieve again what we have achieved before. I would like also to take this opportunity to all the division commanders, vice division commanders, to help us work out in achieving the 3-star NACO award. And if anything and everything that you need to ask from us in our diversity department, we are offering our services for free to mentor you, tutor you, anything we can do so that we can achieve it. As a matter of fact, our district is already number 3 in the whole nation. And we would like to continue be that way or even better. It's going to be a long work for all of us, but we will achieve it. From number 8 or 10 before, we are already number 3 now and hope to maintain it. Thank you so much, and end of report.
Thank you, Felix. Next, I'll call on acting DSO, Norm Bundix, see if he has anything for Chris Mathers, who is on a leave of absence.
Actually, Randy, I'm sorry to interrupt. Steve Sherman is acting in that capacity.
Oh, okay.
So if Steve is still here, if you could report on IS, please, if you have anything.
Yes, I do. First of all 9 divisions are now current and up to date in approvals. The only things that are sitting in the queues are entries made late last month and up to date this month. So I'm keeping on top of that almost daily. Okay, believe it or not, attestations for VE and IT workshops are still trickling in. I have DSO permission, so I am able to switch them out of REWK. Not a problem there. Elections are coming up, and I need to instruct all the SOs, which I'll be doing very soon, the fact that the SOIS is required to vet all candidates running for office and at the flotilla and division levels. So I need to train them on doing that. I'm not sure what happened last year. I was just in charge of Division 6, 4, 5, and 6. So I do have to get with the other divisions on that. There is a form for that. So I'll be spending some time on the elections coming up. Debbie Johnson is presently tasked with rewriting the study guide and PQS for the MSAM competency, which encompasses almost any and every MS mission possible. I'm working with her on that, and I should have, so far, I've got a pretty good, I think I've got a good Ox-Data 2 dissertation to help MS members. Okay, in Division 1, we have a new SOIS. He's doing fine. And Division 4, we have an SOIS, not quite active. I'm working with that person. Division 5 has no SOIS whatsoever. I am presently training a member in Division in 5-9. Hopefully I can, and she has the talent to do that. So I'm hoping to be training a new SOIS for 5. I do 6. I'm the SOIS for 6. Mike Brody at 7, doing an excellent job. He's going to NACON, to the Ox 10. Division 10 and 11, Division 9 and 10, yeah, Division 9 and 10 are doing just fine. 11, not active. Division 12, Jennifer is doing a fine job. No problems there. But prior to Chris's LOA, I've been strictly in charge of 4, 5, and 6. Obviously, I'm in charge of all, so I've got it in hand. We're doing okay. So basically, we have no worries.
Thank you,
Great.
Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Our FSO food service is Marlene Williams, and she's in the wilds of Canada and has very limited access to the internet. So she sent me her report, and it's in a letter form, so I'm going to read it. Greetings, everyone. I would really like to be at this meeting. We've all been waiting for the opportunity to resume in-person activities and have something of substance to report. However, I am traveling in an area with very little signal, New Brunswick, Canada, and Maine. The first exciting, it rolled up on me. I'm sorry that this happened. Okay, here we are. The first exciting activity I have to report on is that I was just underway on the Haddock, an 87 out of San Diego, for just about 3 weeks. The patrol went very well, and I was able to establish a great rapport with the CO. I look forward to creating opportunities for other Ox FSs on the cutter. I'm in the process of setting up training at the LALB galley for several new trainees to work on their PQS. I am sure that this will be a rewarding experience for them. It does involve establishing a relationship with the CSCS, who reported in during COVID, and she doesn't see any problems there. She said, I made a new contact with Mr. Rucker, the XO of the George Cobb in San Pedro. The new engineering officer is a shipmate from the Haddock. That helps with credibility. We're in the process of planning training and augmenting opportunities for Ox FS on the ship. Also, the new SOP for the Ox FS has been released after a 3-year revision approval process. The main thing for non-food service members is that the name is changing from food service to culinary service. I guess that's where all the CSCS came from. If anyone would like to read it, let me know and she will direct you to the link. For the first month after resuming activities, I think the food service is off to a great start. So I will thank her for that, and call on Leslie if Leslie is with us.
Leslie is not. She,
Okay.
last I heard, was down in Belize with her husband, just having a great time. So
She's retired.
I'd like to be in Belize myself, but you know, I'm here.
Yeah, actually, I think they're flying, Rick, right now.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Did she put in a leave request for that?
Not with me.
Not with me either.
Are you gonna
okay.
ask her?
Not me.
No, I don't think I will, because I won't want to hear the answer.
No.
All right,
I
that's my
contacted
report.
with her and was told no.
There is one DSO left in your logistics group if he would like to give a report. That would be Commodore Harshfield, DSOCS.
Okay, I'm in charge of the district website. There hasn't been a lot of updates recently. All oxes that come out, they're posted on the district site. So if there's some that you need to refer to, I believe I have the last 4 years of all oxes. So it's a good reference to go to the post page and scroll down. A lot of time these things come out, people read them and then they disregard them and they're still in effect. So if you need to refer to them, that's where you need to go. Dave Brown is the only one that has sent me dates for your elections. CS is not in charge of creating content. That is your job. If you want something on the website, you need to send it to me. Otherwise, it won't go. So election dates, any events you have, there is a calendar request form on the website that if you have different events, fill it out, send it to me. If I have questions, I'll call you. Otherwise, I'll get the information up on the event calendar. Other than that, that is all I have, Rick.
Thank you,
Thank you, Commodore.
Yes. We had a question.
No, I just think Randy was thanking you.
Oh, okay.
Randy, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Commodore.
I know we'll hear from you in a little bit, Randy. Next up, I would like to invite, where'd you go, David? David, our Director of International Affairs, he asked if he could talk to our group. So David, please.
Thank you, Rick. First of all, thank you for having me. And it's not common for me to attend a district level meeting. I'm happy to be here. I'm a member of District 11 South. One of the things I want to talk about is adding a ADSO under operations for international affairs. International affairs on both the active duty side and the auxiliary side falls under operations because we deploy our interpreters on cutters, we put them on C-130s, and we deploy them on foreign missions as well as exercises. You're probably wondering why we need an interpreter corps. We've hardly ever heard about the International Affairs Group, and I would guess that many of our members don't know we even have an International Affairs Group. Some of the things we've been doing in the last year, we have been very active. My team at International Affairs reached out to 82 nations, and the result of that is at NACON, we have the commandant of a foreign nation coming to our NACON this year, and that's the commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard, as well as their auxiliary. We have Sweden coming, we have Dominican Republic, we have, for the first time ever, the Japanese Coast Guard active duty. They saw what we did over at District 13. They were very much interested, and they want us to help them start another auxiliary for them. We have the South Koreans coming, mostly North Korean, but South Koreans coming. And they're wondering how they can participate in our search and rescue efforts and teach them about our search and rescue efforts. I was on the conference call with our embassy in Vietnam. They wanted to know how we can give them ICS training. So there's a lot of activities internationally. And you're probably wondering, okay, what have we done as auxiliaries? Currently, I have several auxiliaries working with the National Security Council in Washington, D.C. to help them put the position papers together with the Commandant's office. We have auxiliaries working with the State Department, working on the Russian incursion in Alaska from their Navy, harassing our fishing fleets. We have auxiliaries going out on C-130s, on Coast Guard C-130s, Russian interpreters, just in case they encounter Russian aircraft on their Arctic patrols. So the auxiliary international program is very robust. About a month ago, I got a call from the commander of the Pacific Fleet saying, okay, we're planning all of our cutters activity in the next half a year. I want you guys to be part of the meeting so we can know which cutters we can put interpreters on. especially Chinese interpreters. All of our efforts have been centered around the Commandant's Western Hemisphere strategy. So we're heavily engaging in the Oceania region. We're heavily engaging in Southeast Asia as well as Asia. And all those efforts are to curb belligerent action by certain countries without naming that country. And I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. So we're going to be sending auxiliaries out before the Gray Halls, the Navy goes in. Who goes in? The Coast Guard, the White Halls. Before the White Halls go in, who goes in? They want to do the soft diplomacy, the stuff that's not going to cause an international incident. So they asked the auxiliary to go in, engage their civil maritime organizations, engage their search and rescue, teach ICS, disaster recovery. So we're standing up in the next few months a monuments team. I'm sure you heard of that movie, Monuments Men. We're going to have an auxiliary monuments team where we go and help countries identify cultural sensitive sites for each these different nations. These are great efforts that are non-controversial on an international stage. So how does 11 South play into this role? Well, we're about 23,000 auxiliaries. We have 3 Mandarin speakers in the auxiliary that are qualified to speak Mandarin as interpreters. We lost one, one passed away a couple weeks ago. That left us with 2. Out of the 2, only one is able to be deployed on the cutter because the other one is physically not able to. So we use them on document translations with the State Department. So one of the programs we're coming up with is my team cannot reach out to all the districts. So what we're doing is we're putting international representative at the district level to go and outreach those communities where we need interpreters. They will engage the Chinese community, the Russian community, the Vietnamese community, and bring those speakers into the auxiliary and train them up to be interpreters. Also, from Commodore Harshville and Rick's point of view and your point of view, you don't know when interpreters are going out on missions. You know, my team is calling these people at the middle of the night and saying, I got a cutter out in the Pacific. We're going to patch you in and you're going to translate. You have no visibility to that. And we're going to change that because we want you to know who's going out, who's doing these missions, and so that you can be aware of these things that the auxiliaries within our district and what they're doing. So we're asking you guys to support the ADSO operations interpreter or international position. That way, these individuals will go out in the community and help us recruit interpreters in high needs languages. They can educate flotillas and divisions about what we do. They can help and then so that they can help, excuse me, it's not COVID, it's an allergy. So these interpreters these ADSOs can really help at the district level, all of our efforts in international. And as you've heard from my talk here, our efforts here at the district level, all the way up to national level, have a national security component. And this is where we're going. Augmentation is the key phrase for the next 10 years in the auxiliary. You've seen it in the chaplain program, you've seen it in the food services program, you've seen it in interpreters, and now we're going to be engaging in foreign nations and doing soft diplomacy and training them in ICS, training them in leadership training, and all kinds of things. That's going to be pretty exciting. We're going to be an international organization pretty soon here. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, David. Appreciate you being here and talking with the group, giving them insight to our international affairs program.
Rick, if I may butt in a little bit and give my 10 cents of experience. When I was the division chief for Asian Pacific for the International Affairs, starting from 2006 to 2016, it was the time I started to work on all the Philippine Coast Guard commandants to be invited at the NACON. starting from Admiral Damian Carlos, and now the latest one is Commandant Admiral George Orsabia. Most of them, 99% of them are all my friends. And I learned, I did a lot of networking with them. George was, Admiral Orsabia was like a captain at the time when I met him. And now he's now the big boss. As a matter of fact, lately I had dinner and lunch with the Vice Commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard we share. If you see my Facebook page, I had my pictures with him and his wife. Also, there was a time when Division Commander Matthew Smith was teaching in South Korea. I work out with him to set up a flotilla in that area, and then they're reporting to Guam. And also at the same time, in 2009, I was the chief advisor and one of the speakers on the first Asia Pacific Search and Rescue and Environmental Protection Conference back in Manila, wherein we are represented by captain from our Coast Guard active duty in Hawaii, from Hawaii, with our former NACO Eb Tucker, and at the same time it was represented by Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, and the Philippines, as well as the United States.
Excuse me,
At
Felix.
the same time, lastly, we also had a chance to give Philippine Coast Guard honorary Commodore to
Felix.
Tucker. So
Felix, excuse me. I need to move on. I
you.
appreciate your comments, but we need to move on. Real quick, I would like Bill Freed, if you have anything you want to say about legal.
Thanks, Rick. Just that soon I'll be sending out a summary of kind of common legal issues that elected leaders will face and they're likely to face in their service and during their terms. It's been around. I'm going to update it, but it's good to review. We seem to have reoccurring problems from a legal standpoint time and time again, and so the word's not getting around. So it's something that we'll hand out again to the legal leaders, and then possibly after talking to Rick and Commodore Geiger, maybe have a Zoom meeting where we can have a Q&A about that sort of thing. That's all.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Okay, let's move on to prevention. Norm Bundick, who is our new DDC prevention. Actually, he's our new old DDC prevention.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. I know I look old, but then did you have to really say that? OTO Esselman, nice to meet you. Okay, as you know, my normal day job is Commodore Geiger's aide. And because Chris Mathers had some personal issues that he had to take care of, I'm stepping in as DDC prevention until Chris can come back. I was DDC prevention last year. So I know everybody except for, worked with everybody except for Rudy and Justin, which I'll introduce, but I do know you in my other positions. Anyways, I have only been in the job a week and a half, so I really don't know what's going on. I'm going to learn a lot from my DSOs. Anyways, I'd like to first introduce Rudy Lopez, DSO PA. And by the way, before that, everybody on here might want to put their title on their name so that the OTO can also get an idea of what your office is. If you don't know how to do it, click on your picture. There's 3 dots in the top right-hand corner. That opens up. It says rename, and you can add on your title. Anyways, sorry about that. Rudy?
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Mr. Esselman, pleasure to meet you, sir. I look forward to seeing you in Dyer Rocks. I spend a lot of time there as myself. With regard to PA activities, over the last 6 months, we've seen an increase in our ability to communicate with one another. For the longest time, we weren't able to reach out to some of the other divisions within. We have four ADSOs currently assigned: Don Miller, Diane Heyman, Jennifer Good, and Mr. Rick Weiss. Rick is in charge of the COSTI program and is a part of the PA office, so he reports to us. Jennifer is in the music area, and she reports to us with regard to that. I think it's a fine connection. So since we started with our program, the reports are starting to flow in, and we're starting to understand how active all of our divisions are. Division 10 is one to be very proud of. They were very instrumental and active with the National Safe Boating Week. They did an exemplary job and was worthy of note. But the activity is starting to show up within the other divisions, and we're starting to see, especially locally, the Coast Guard Family Day, which is set for 04 of August, is something that we're working on now, where our PA programs could be instrumental in providing assistance and to augment the event on that day. And I received information from Division 10 that says that they were also approached. They have a similar program. They're honoring the Coast Guard Day up there. The mayor of Fountain Hills, Mayor Ginny Dickey, is proclaiming August 4th as Coast Guard Day in their town of Fountain Hills. So they're connected with that as well to promote the PA booth. In addition to that, we have Fleet Week coming up. Don Miller from Division 5 is currently running that program and is seeking the assistance from other divisions to see if we can offer to man the PA booths there. COSTI will be also a part of that program. And speaking of COSTI, Rick Weiss has been asked to and will be performing equipment checks to make sure all of the COSTI equipment is functioning properly throughout all those that have that. In addition to that, I wanted to report that we were contacted by the Coastal Commission regarding the coastal cleanup. They have an annual one. This information was sent to every division within our district to see if there is some way for their people to participate in the coastal areas that are there for the cleanup program. In locally as well, our cleanup program is going to encompass not just the beach walk where we're actually picking up the debris that's been left behind. We're setting up a PA booth with information as well. We're going to have a recruiting area as well. Comms is going to be involved in this. And as I understand it, Jim Haas, he's our SO or MS, is spearheading this. He was the point of contact for this 2 years ago when we did this, which was a very successful program. Our intent is to reach out to the media to show what it is we're doing and how we're participating in this event as well. Again, the activity is on the rise and our communication has improved. And so we'll be sending more and more information to each of you as this information continues to come in. I'm very proud to be part of the program. I thank you for that opportunity. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Rudy. Very well done. Next, we have DSO/MS Debbie Johnson or her representative. I didn't see Debbie on the call. So next, DSO NAV Systems, Ken Clements. Ken, if you're there, unmute.
Yeah, this is Harold Bodkin, ADSO/NS. Sorry, my camera's having some technical issues.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Harold.
I can give Ken's report. So let me start. The DSO/NS regrets he cannot be here today due to a previously scheduled out of work conflict. That said, Ken Clements wants you to know that he has started the preliminary logistics to present both an ATON verifier PQS qualification and ATON verifier PQS requalification class at either the Lighthouse Room at Sector LALB or possibly the Orange County Sheriff's Department U.S. Coast Guard Conference Room in Corona Del Mar. The DSO/NS has requested assistance from John Ross to secure the Lighthouse Room if we lean in that direction. John Ross knows what's needed to obtain permission to reserve the facility, etc. The DSO/NS may opt instead for the Orange County Sheriff's Department or U.S. Coast Guard Conference Room in Corona Del Mar because we have successfully used that venue numerous times over the past several years. Our time frame for these sessions is we're shooting for mid-September at this time. That can change obviously with COVID restrictions or new guidance from the Coast Guard. Our next topic, it's well known that sometimes the best AVs are also qualified crew or even qualified coxswains. We are in the process of contacting instructors involved in boat crew qualifications for the two separate boat crew qualification groups. The NS team would like to approach the boat crew and coxswain candidates with the concept of cross-training boat crew and coxswains with ATON verification. This is a powerful combination for boating safety. Our last item is the 11SR plans to hold D-Train in 2022. The DSO-NS wants to be prepared and plans to present 2 NS recruiting events. In past years, the NS team has conducted both a 1-hour session, Introduction to Navigation Systems, and the NS team trade show that was usually held after lunch. I'm not sure who will be the DSO-NS in 2022, but I am the DSO-NS in 2021, and I'm putting the ball in play. That's the end of Ken's report.
Hey, thank you, Harold. Next, we have DSO PE, Suzanne White.
Good morning and welcome, Mr. Esselman. We're slow to get going again. At least I do have 3 divisions that are reporting on a regular basis. Division 6 has been doing an outstanding job of continuing on with their education. 9 and 10 being in the desert and part of the Arizona State with the voting laws that we have. All we can basically do is ask people if they'd like to have a class, which has been kind of hard to get going. But overall, I think right now we can start getting this set up again. I'm going to try to start setting some things up as Division PE-SO for 10, that we can start having some classes in person. That's pretty much the end of my report. Now, one thing I must say, if any of you are Clipper fans and you really want that championship to stay on the West Coast, please root for the Suns, okay? All right. I know we're just a desert bunch of rats, but we play pretty good basketball. Anyway, once again, thank you, Mr. Resselman. I appreciate, Mr. Resselman, that you have joined us. I hope you enjoy your stay here. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Suzanne. Next up is DSO PV, Justin Peck. Justin?
Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm not in uniform today. I'm out and about. So I'll keep it nice and brief. So we did do that online workshop with all of the groups. And I talked about some out of the box, PV stuff. And it was really nice to see that some of the divisions were starting to implement some similar ideas. And so we've got people getting out there, getting creative, using QR codes and posting up things in unconventional places. And they're starting to see some activity with people asking questions, which is truly what we're all about, is getting information out there, getting people asking questions so we can keep them safe and get them educated. So it's nice to see that some of the out of the box thinking is working. So that's really good. I'm getting good steady reports coming in from the divisions that are active, that they're starting to pick up and do things. I know that some flotillas and some divisions are still very hesitant to go out. I myself, I don't really go out that often. I'm still pretty locked down myself, so I understand. But the problem I'm running into that I'm finding, and this is something I got to dig into a little bit more, is I think some of the divisions still don't have much of a program at all, or at least there's no, SO representatives, because I'm not getting much word back from them. So I will be trying to reach out to each of the divisions and see if I can invite myself to their meetings here coming up in the next few months, just so I can start, giving the word in person, so to speak, and getting some, hype around PV, because I know that's everybody's favorite, piece of the puzzle out there. So, we'll make it exciting, we'll make it sexy, and we'll make, the program visitor, like I've always said, it's the tip of the spear. We can get out there, hand the leaflets out, get people thinking and asking questions, and we get them in the rest of our programs. So things are going well considering COVID. It'll get better over time. So end of report.
Thank you, Justin. Next up is DSO Vessel Examiners, Martin Buncher. Unmute, Martin.
There we go. Thank you for the introduction. This was kind of like the year, you all know, COVID-19. We had a lot of confusion over the regulations that came out, and at the same time, we had Ox Data 2 come out, and a lot of the vessel examiners really kind of lost it for a while and try and get a foothold on the how to work the systems. Of course, that resulted in a lot of frustration, lower morale, and less active participation in our vessel exam program. There was some difficulties, specifically like, what do we do about getting photos inside a vessel? How do we get the owners to wear PE and all of that? Then phase 2 came around, and it helped a little bit as the BEs struggled to get mission approval. But then we had the dropping of the umbrella regulation, and that really seemed to open up the door to getting back into the swing of things. The one impediment which remains among the VEs, and this is just from the grapevine and word of mouth, which I get, is that the limitation of doing 3 VEs a day is really still morale and an action killer. A lot of the vessel examiners that would be going out are waiting for that to drop. And I know, Mr. Esplin, that this might be of particular importance to you. They want to get rid of that 3-day limitation on the number of vessel exams we can complete each day, so they can go out. That particularly will help us when we want to do blitzes at the marinas and at the boat ramps. As usual, we have some divisions shining and some flotillas shining, while others seem to not go very far. I too have had a lot of problems with Division 5. Not only do they not have the SOVE and the SOIS positions, they have a lot of other divisions or SO positions not filled. I have reached out to them, and now I'm going to be getting help from up the chain to really go after them and see what we can do for the end of the year. At present time, we're still getting more requests from vessel owners than we can handle for vessel inspections. And another source of frustration is the hacking of our vessel examination request phone line, which we got just happening this past 2 months or so, where we're getting vessel exams from spam people and they'll request 13 exams here or there. The good news is that some flotillas already now are planning blitzes to get back into the swing of things at marinas and boat ramps. We've got all of our decals in place. We have some new vessel examiners who have been or are in the qualification process, though we still need a lot more. And we've got good reports about the communication system, how it's working, passing up and passing down, what's happening and changing policies. And the fact that we did have an OTO in place, and now with our new one, I'm sure that's going to help a lot of the morale and efficiency of our ability to get exams done. We have had a lot more accidents reported with paddle boards and kayak mishaps, probably because now more people are getting on the water. I have had some personal experience on myself on the water, Mission Bay and San Diego Bay, and very few paddle board owners and kayakers have their PE equipment on. Another thing we need to really do is to get those in REYR back into active status, which we will do with the help of my ADSOVEs and the SOVEs. And finally, we need to push more virtual classroom work for qualifications and promotion of paddlecraft safety. That was one thing that we really wanted to get into this year. COVID kind of put a slowdown in that action, but we want to try and picking that up now that we have a little bit more freedom and ability to go out to exams. We want to get the B-directed interfacing with public relations, member training, public affairs, public education, to get the word out about things like protection gear and paddlecraft and the like. End of report. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Next up is GSO Hawk Scouts, Dale Zimmerman.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome, Mr. Esselman. Looking forward to working with you on the ops side also. For those of you who don't know, the Hawk Scout program is the Coast Guard Auxiliary's official youth program. So we work with Sea Scout ships across the country, and unfortunately in 11 South, we only have 2 units working with Sea Scout ships at the current time, one in Division 6, one in Division 7. We had 3 members from Division 10 attend a big Sea Scout training conference in Camp Geronimo in northern Arizona about a month and a half ago, and they were very well received. There's several hundred Sea Scouts there, and our auxiliaries taught them several different things. Other than that, it seems like it's one of those hidden programs that nobody knows about. If anybody has any questions about it, please get in touch with me. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Dale. Next up is DSO Ox LWO, which is the life jacket program. Randy Wesson. You're muted.
Hello again, folks. You'll see the abbreviation AUX-LWO. That stands for Auxiliary Life Jacket Wear Observation Study Project. It's been going on for around 20 years, and the Ox has been doing it for about 15 years. We've been doing part of the observations and slowly increasing the amount of observation sites that we're doing. We've been saving the Coast Guard a lot of money by not having the civilian company JSI doing the observations. They do the analysis of all the data that we collect. In San Diego, we started doing it in 2015. And then in 2017, we started doing it also in Arizona. In 2018, it was made an official program of the auxiliary, and at the same time, a PQS qualification became part of the program, and people can earn the PQS within 2 years. We don't have any positions lower than DSO currently. I mean ADSO. I've got 2 ADSOs, one for California and one for Arizona. What the overall goal is to produce a number of not a number of, but data from across the country and compare that to the accident statistics, and then produce a report that's given to Congress and to regulators in the various states. We do a brief 4-hour training that is online and includes the time for a quiz. You pass the quiz. The accuracy level is required for the study to be 98% or higher. So they're trained on being able to fill in the data on the scan sheets and make sure that we're getting that kind of a level of accuracy. Observations are made at the same sites every year by the same people. So we don't have much need for recruitment. Every once in a while, somebody will drop out of the program because they're going to take on a new job in the Ox, like flotilla commander or something like that. And so we have to recruit somebody, but it's not too difficult to find people. But it is rare for us to need somebody. What we do on our observations, we go to the sites, record the weather, the conditions of the sea, and we observe the boating safety standards that people are taking taking precautions with. If they're wearing life jackets, what type of life jackets, what gender they are, what age group they're in, and providing all those statistics for the on the Scantron type sheet. We use stabilizing binoculars for the observations. It makes it a little easier to keep your binoculars on, and you've got a steady look at the boat. Now we've included the emergency cutoff switch as another safety item that we're going to be recording. We don't do them when there's races or law enforcement because they would be the boaters would possibly be affected by their behaviors, would be affected by the races, or if law enforcement was around. And then we send that data into the JSI company, and they analyze them and send out a report annually. And I guess that's about it. If you have any questions, you can ask them now, or give me a call, or email me at randywesson1@gmail.com.
Okay.
My two ADSOs are Dave Esparza and Martin Mendoza. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Randy. If anybody has any questions, I'll give you a second. Otherwise, we'll transfer it back to Mr. Ebel. Rick?
Okay. Next up is response, and our DDC for response is Chris Milano.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. First, I'd like to say welcome to Mr. Esselman. Look forward to working with the OTO, especially in operations. As Mr. Abel said, Tom Pelosi is our DSO operations. He's probably right now in an aircraft, but a quick report from him. D11 has completed the highest percentage of risk management annual refresher training in the nation and are currently in excess of 90%. So bravo Zulu to him and everyone that has gotten that taken care of. The training team will continue to provide classes through the end of the year on an as-needed basis. Please have division commanders have their SO ops select the date for QEX in their AOR, so the QE coordinator can schedule their check rides as needed. Also, we just conducted our first water operations on Lake Mead in quite some time, and it looks like Lake Mead water operations, thanks to Tom and Leslie Pelosi coming out here, and then others in our Division 9 who are definitely getting their boats up and running for the Las Vegas area. Things went exceptionally well. The one thing of notice, especially for public education, we might be able to take a look at was as everyone was trying to take their vessels off the water, it was comedy hour, so much so it became scary. It is amazing how many individuals, especially with Lake Mead, with our water levels going down, they only have one ramp that's open. It's not conducive to launching or recovering vessels. And the inexperience of boaters, there were almost several accidents and some very close major injuries that could have happened. So I know in Division 9, that's something we're going to be looking at on Lake Mead. So that might be something others might be able to do some education on as well. That's what we have for operations. For aviation, Mr. Powell was not able to make it today. But an update, things are going exceptionally well with our aviation team. We have several required courses that have been scheduled, including AUX 17, AUX 18, and Air Operations Workshop, and CRM Safety. We have over 30 members and candidates in the queue for AUX Air. There are 9 potential facilities in queue, and at least 3 are being inspected to become mission ready. We also have members that are also working on getting their facilities inspected, and that seems to be going well. And we do have some things that we need to work with the operations officer in San Diego. But that individual, I believe, is coming on this month. So we're really going to have to wait until the operation officer becomes familiar and does their check ride of the AOR. So we believe that we would be able to start communicating and working with him in aviation probably in August, and we will have qualified crews. We do have spreadsheets that identify all of our assets, where the qualifications are and all the members, the available assets and their locations. So we'll be working with the operations officer in August, and most likely we'll be able to start some air operations. Our assumption is probably late August to September, and then really gearing up for next year. Aviation is a major component that the active duty is looking for. It is definitely a cost savings for active duty if we have auxiliaries fly missions, and we do have several qualified individuals. So we're really excited about our aviation program. And then finally with communications, Rick has been doing a great job. So thank you, Mr. Abel. I really appreciate everything you've done with the intranets and working on the California coast. We are working to try to set one up in the Nevada area. So we'll be having some communications with you. And one thing we would just like to ask is we would like to put a repeater probably back on Mount Wilson, but the only thing that we're able to do to get a repeater up there is to have it flown up by helicopter. So Mr. Esselman, that's one of the questions that we'll definitely be working with you on, as well as Mr. Abel, who's our DSO communications, to see if we might be able to work with active duty to assist us. We already have an MOU signed with the Park Service, and it's just something we're trying to work out, but that'll be a lot more in-depth discussions, and I'll be working with Mr. Abel to get all that squared away. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to you. Anything you have for communications?
Yeah, actually, I do. Next Saturday, we will start an open mic training program. Glenn Arant, who is a new ADSO CM / RDF, will be heading that training up, along with one of my other ADSOs, Gene Schultz. After 3 consecutive Saturdays of training, they will move into hands-on training. They'll do it down in Sector San Diego for one area, Sector LALB for another area, and then up around Oxnard, Ventura area for another hands-on training. So if anybody wants to get involved in that program, you need to contact either Glenn Arant or Gene Schultz. They will get you in that program. Our weekly nets, division nets, I know Division 6 has a good turnout with their net. Division 5 net, not as good of a turnout, but they're still having that net. I know a Division 11 is working on a division net there. And currently, we don't have a repeater in Divisions 12 and 4. Division 7 has a repeater, and they also have a weekly net. Hopefully, as Chris mentioned, we can get something going in 9 and 10, and also Division 1 has their own net. Gosh, we have a nice HF program now. We have a weekly HF net that is run by Gene Schultz, our ADSO CM. We also participate in the Western Regional HF contingency net, and we are also involved in the D11. I'm sorry, let me do this again. I forget what it's called, D11 Auxiliary Comms Net, or not net, but program. There will be a HF exercise that will take place in December. So while that's going on, they'll also be doing some additional training with our HF operators so they can be prepared for that training. Mr. Esselman, I will discuss that with you when I see you. Uh, and honestly, other than that, oh, let me talk about radio facilities.
Hey, Rick,
Yes.
I have to run, but it was so
Okay.
nice for the invite. Thank you so much. I really look forward to meeting you all in person. And again, thanks for letting me listen in and kind of learn some things.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Radio facilities. We are currently renewing radio facility inspections. We've gone through and archived over 80 radio facilities. That happened a couple of months ago. And we have probably about another 80 radio facilities out there that are either have been recertified, re-inspected, or in need of inspection. Our folks need to pay attention to the 7004 inspection document, along with entering this information into OXData 2. The owner can start it, the inspector can add more to it and approve it, and then it goes up the rest of the approval process, which after the inspector approves it, it will come to me. I'll approve it or deny it, and I have denied a couple. Mostly they get approved, and after me, they will go to the OTO for final approval. HF radio facility inspections do have to go to national for their final inspection. Call signs, we will be working on the call sign list just to verify that the members that are listed on there are members of D11 South and are qualified to have a call sign, whether it's their TCO qualification or completing OXCOM prior to August 1st, 2008. So look for that list to come out soon. Again, we're in the middle of going through that. As far as the TCO PQS process goes, our members do not have to complete OXCOM to take that PQS, but they have to be a TCO to get a radio facility inspected and put into OXData. Without the TCO qualification or the OXCOM qualification, grandfathered in qualification, our members can't be on the radio. They can't have a radio facility, and they will not get a call sign. So anyway, I think that's enough for me for right now. Yes, Mr. Sherman.
Yes, let me add on to that. Some members are having issues registering their radios in OXData. I have an excellent how-to. I've helped a few members get their their information into OXData. So if everyone will take note, contact myself, and I will help that member.
There's also been 2 trainings by Chris Mather, and there are also, those trainings have been recorded and should be available on the website, along with a tutorial PowerPoint on how to get those radio facility inspections done through OXData 2.
Also, I want to mention on HF radio missions, OPCONs can be different. Just so you know that, I know Bill Schultz has used Pacific area for an OPCON. There's another one called CG Command. So not every instance will be the district default. So if you have any questions on that, let me know.
Shake, you had a question?
Just a reference in that when it's an initial, all radio facilities end up through me somewhere to assign them an NN or NF number. So we're trying to figure out a looping system, and I'm sure you and I could talk about it later, but I just want to let everybody know when that initial paperwork comes in, I got to go in and assign them an NM or an NF number. I don't do anything other than that. I don't do call signs or things like that. I just do those two NF and NM assignments. So somehow the old system, I was in the loop because I got all the paperwork. The new system, since it's Oxidated 2, I have to insert myself in there somehow. So we're still trying to figure out the SOP for me to make sure I'm get to you timely with your particular numbers. I just wanted to state that.
And thank you, Shake. And Shake is correct. He doesn't do call signs. I do, because our call signs, our member call signs, let me be specific, are district call signs. They will not show up in Oxidated 2. Okay. Okay, I'm done. Mr. Milano, back to you.
No, thank you very kindly. That's the report.
Okay, actually, we have one other DSO in response that needs to give his report, and that would be John Ross.
Hi, yes, that's a DSO for emergency management. I want to admit to everybody that the reconstitution of auxiliary and emergency management at the sector is moving very, very, very slow. There's a lot of reasons for it, but I won't make any excuses. Things aren't happening as fast as what we would like to have. However, on the brighter side, we don't have information in Oxdata 2 or even on other websites of the qualifications of our members. And I can just sit here, look at some of the people on this Zoom call that I know have significant emergency management qualifications, but they're not listed in Oxdata anywhere. So the Q Directorate at the national level has produced a screening form that we will be sending out. It's in beta test right now. We're going to test it here locally with about a dozen members to see if it can be filled out easily and what changes may be needed for it. But you'll be seeing it. You may hear a little bit about it over the next few weeks. Once we've done the beta test on it and we've collected some information, then we'll start rolling that out to everybody. The idea being that nationally, they're putting together a database of qualifications that our folks have that aren't listed in Oxdata 2. And that will go a long way to try and find out when there's an emergency or a need for certain qualifications. And it's not just like ICS or IMT quals. We're talking about a lot of different kinds of qualifications that can support emergency activities. The other piece to it is trying to get some training. And of course, COVID completely ruined that over the last year and a half. But again, the Q Directorate has put together a training program for a new, not a new, but a program that's used by the sector. It's called IMSS. It's the Incident Management Software System, and it's an administrative system that allows us, as well as active duty folks, to make input during an emergency or during exercises, especially exercises, so they can keep track of who's coming, who's going, what resources there are. It's about a 6-hour training program, and we're going to be trying to test that out over the next month. We're going to take a first shot at it in a couple of weeks and see how it goes, and then we'll be rolling that out for as many people who want to take it. That would be followed on by having some exercises at the sector level or between sectors to have some simulated emergency activities where we can go in to the sector or independently through virtual to make inputs into this program. So that's it. We're looking forward to it. I really hope that we can get things kickstarted here in the late summer and fall to get this emergency management system for our district back on the road. Any questions? Okay.
Okay, thank you, John. I don't think we have any other DSOs to give reports. I do have a couple of last minute things I want to chat about. It won't take but a few minutes. On the DSO report, and this also goes for division commander reports. There is a section that says list any assistance you need from district leadership, staff, or active duty. Folks, know that if you list anything there, you will get a call or an email from the Commodore or myself or both of us regarding what you put there. If you put anything there, I ask you to be specific. Okay? Don't put general information in there. Make sure you're putting good stuff in there that you really think that we can help you with. Do not put editorial comments there. There's another section, general comments for district. You can editorialize your reports there, or you can put them, those comments in your executive summary. So if you want to get a phone call from me or the Commodore, by all means, put something in that space and we'll give you a call. NACON is August 16th through August 21st. I know some of our DSOs are being asked to attend. And for those of you who haven't done so yet that are going to attend, it's on Auxiliary Association orders. They have not got those out yet. You may not get them until a couple of days before you go. Go ahead and make your hotel reservation, your airline reservation, and register for the conference if you're going. And then last thing I have is our next board and staff meeting, which means we'll all be together. And that will be probably a lengthier meeting, is on September the 11th at base LALB in the Lighthouse Room. That meeting is going to start at 10 o'clock, I believe. So those of you who are being asked to attend that live outside of the 50-mile radius, you'll be getting orders to attend, reimbursable orders. And there is the hotel over the Vincent Thomas Bridge. It's called, it's the Crown Plaza San Pedro, I believe. And our folks have stayed there in the past. It's a nice hotel. So get ready. I know Norm Bundick has been working on that list and to get it to DIROCS. So be on the lookout for that. Norm, you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I do. Just so you know, we don't have a special rate at the hotel, and the Friday and Saturday nights for those who are coming in from outside, the room nights are higher than the per diem that you're going to get reimbursed. The per diem is $182 a night for the hotel and $66 a day in food. So it does not cover that. And then also, when you get your orders, carry them with you, because you will have to fill out another form at the hotel, or I'll try to get one ahead of time for you to fill out, where you show your orders, you fill out a form, and tax is not added on there. Otherwise, it's another 50 or 60 bucks you'll end up paying. So be sure to watch out for that. And if you have any questions, you can email me or call me anytime from that. The other hotel, the Crown Plaza is pretty well filled up already. Some of the other folks on the call are going to the DoubleTree in San Pedro. So that's another alternative. Again, we do not have a set rate. You have to get the best rate you can get. That's all.
Thank you, Norm.
I have a comment on that.
By all means.
Oh, okay. In order to get reimbursed on Coast Guard orders, you must go directly to the hotel, because you have to have a zero balance receipt in order to get reimbursed, which means you can't go through hotel.com or anything like that, because you will not get a zero balance receipt. So that's all.
Thank you,
All right.
Commodore. Forgot that.
Yeah, no, that's a big one because.
Big one.
Yeah, you won't get reimbursed. So make sure that you go directly to the hotel, and when you check out, make sure that you get a copy of your zero balance receipt to turn in.
Okay, thank you, Commodore. Okay, folks, that concludes our staff meeting. Wow, I wanted to be done by noon and it's 11:57.
Oh, let's keep going.
give-
Let's keep going. We got 3 minutes to kill.
No, you folks have 3 minutes if you have a comment. Otherwise, we're done. And once we're done, Dave Brown, give me 10 minutes before you call me. And I will then call Shake after I call Mr. Brown. Any closing comments? Yes, sir, Mr. Sherman.
Yeah, that's me again.
Yeah, I know, I can see.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to NACON.
Yep.
This is the first time in 9 years that all the DSOs throughout the country will be meeting. So it is basically a think tank. I would like to carry back some things that concern everyone here regarding 82. So please let me know. I know some things have been discussed here regarding questions about docs data. Let me know what I can take with me. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Steve. Anybody else?
I have a private problem. Probably, I don't know how many I'll share it. I've been up to the base of Long Beach a couple of times and I get lost every time. Is there, you said it's in the lighthouse room. Can we get some kind of a specific address so I can set my Garmin or something to find it instead of floating around there for a half hour and being late for the meeting again?
Yeah, we can get that to you, Martin, no problem. John?
There won't be a GPS direction to it because GPS will only put you on the base.
Yeah.
But we'll do a layout when we're setting up the meeting. I'm on the committee to help set up the meeting so that we can send it out and let everybody know where the lighthouse is located. It's right next to Dyrox. So
Well,
it's
the
not-
guard shack will direct you.
No, we'll send out something that gives people directions. Okay, the verbal one at the guard shack doesn't stay with me more than 50 feet. So anyhow, we'll get that out to you, Martin.
Okay, with all that being said, if there's nothing else, Chris and Norm, if you could stay on, and then everybody else have a great Saturday. We have our DELA tomorrow evening at 6:30. Paul Saba will be running that DELA tomorrow, presenting. I think it should be pretty good. It's going to be about leadership. So, and I'm sure we may hear some of the same things there that we heard here today, but he's going to go, I think, into more detail. Okay. All right.